And we're going to be looking at some, of course, nice instrument that should make you some good amount of money today. So just follow carefully. And if you have any question, please do well to type your questions on the chat section. It will be answered immediately. Okay, at least some I'll be able to attend to them. Okay, that is if you have any question. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen. Okay. Okay, so just a second. Okay. Okay, so I believe you can see my screen now. Please, like I said earlier, if you're joining us, please do well to turn off your video so that it won't distract or disturb other persons. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, today is Wednesday, June 7th. Wednesday, June 7th. And we have a couple of high impact news. Starting the first day, the first one, of course, it has already passed, that came out around 12:20 a.m. It came out around 12:20 a.m. That was from the AUD, Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lowe speaks. And it was a speech by the Reserve Bank of Australia. And it was early hours of today, 12:20 a.m. And of course, around the same time, by 2:30, we had another news from Australia too, their GDP quarterly report. GDP quarterly report also came out from the AUD. And early hours of today, okay, just like about a few minutes ago, by 8 a.m., we also had medium impact news from Swiss francs, which is their foreign currency reserve. The Swiss France currency, foreign currency reserve news came out. And the one that is going to be coming out in few, let's say, a few hours to come around 3 p.m. From Canada. That's a Bank of Canadian rate statement. This is their bank rate. All right, this is their bank rate. And of course, you know that when bank rate is coming out, it's the same thing as interest rate. Bank rate is the same thing as interest rate. All right. And then, of course, they also have their overnight rate. Okay, so we're going to be having a couple of fundamentals coming in from these major instruments. That is the Canadian economy and Swiss from the Switzerland economy, which just came out a couple of minutes ago. All right, so let's take a look at how this particular impact is going to be affecting the market today. Of course, you know that yesterday was a very interesting day also with the same kind of set of instruments. Australia also had their Reserve Bank of Australia statement, and of course their bank or their bank cash rate. Their cash rate actually came out positive. So if you check very well, you'll notice that Australia has actually been doing perfectly well this period. Do you understand? Because of most of they decided to increase their interest rate. All right. This Reserve Bank of Australia, the bank rate yesterday came out hawkish. So they increased their interest rate, and that actually affected the currency pair. It actually gave strength to this particular instrument. It gave strength to this particular instrument. Some people are saying there is no audio, and I just need a confirmation. Can everybody hear me? Okay, I think can actually hear me because even the extension audio I've got here is showing that they can hear me. Okay, thank you. All right, so today is also going to be, we are expecting that the Bank of the Bank of Canadian statement also, most likely the projection are saying that most likely it's going to come out positive. It's saying that it's going to come out positive. So with that in mind, now let's look at what we're going to be expecting in the market. So we're going to be taking our step from this particular instrument. So we're going to be looking at instruments relating to some of these pairs that has fundamental. Now, this is one of the things that you should be doing. Most of those pairs that has fundamentals, please always be quick to trade them first, right? Because these are the ones that are going to be having massive volatility for the day. So instead of looking for those instruments that the volatilities are going to be so low for the day, or maybe they don't have fundamentals, it's better you start with those that has fundamentals. That is going to help you. All right, that's going to help you better. So let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting in the market today. And we're going to be starting it with dollar index. Okay, so let's go straight to our charts, to dollar index, and see what we're expecting. Okay, dollar index. Now, if you check for some days, dollar index has actually been doing well, quite unlike expected. Initially, we're expecting this particular instrument to even fall lower. Now, of course, because of a lot of things that has actually been happening. First of all, they had issues with their banks, bank failure at the early part of the second quarter of the year. They had several bank failures due to consistent increment in their interest rates, right? And lately, they've been having issues with their debt ceiling, all right? During that period, of course, we witnessed some fall on this particular currency, but thereafter, we saw that they picked up strength after the debt ceiling was actually lifted, all right? Their debt ceiling was increased. So this particular instrument, dollar on its own, has actually been doing very well. It's actually been doing very well. So with that in mind, you could say that dollar, unlike expected, like everybody was actually expecting something different. All right. If I ask how most of the traders that what were you expecting dollar to do this year, I know you will tell me that I was expecting dollar to fall, or I was expecting dollar to something different, but not with the kind of massive strength it's been having. All right. So with that in mind, I could actually tell you that I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting dollar to fall, but it hasn't really been so. Like after the massive fall that happened from January to March, from April it started picking up strength, ending part of April all through May, and of course this is June already. And what are we expecting in June? Are we expecting this particular instrument to also continue having strength, or are we expecting any kind of reversal? But where it is right now is actually a very dicey point, which is around here. All right. If you check it very well, you'll notice that this particular instrument got to this point around 15th of March. All right. It got here around 15th of March. And since then, it's been falling. And it has also gotten here how many days ago? It got here about 31st of April, May, which is the last day of May. And since then, it's also been falling. So the question is that, is this particular instrument going to keep on falling the way it is? Well, I would say that most likely it is going to keep on falling. Why? Because their monetary statement has not actually been doing perfectly well as expected. And there are still some couple of other things that have actually been affecting this particular pair, which is this particular instrument, which is dollar index. Just in case you don't know what dollar index is an instrument that measures the strength of dollar against 5 other baskets of instruments. All right, so dollar index is an instrument that really measures the exact strength of dollar compared to euro, dollar compared to JPY, dollar compared to Swiss francs, dollar compared to GBP, and dollar compared to AUD. And of course, CAD. So these instruments are measured against dollar And then the strength of dollar against them is quoted as dollar index. So when you're trading dollar index, just have it at the back of your mind that you're trading the exact strength of dollar. You're trading the exact strength of dollar. All right. So looking at the particular progressive measure or the progressive trend that we've been having, you would know that this particular instrument, dollar, has actually been doing very well in recent days. All right. So that being said, I am actually going to be looking at a little bit of a buy, sorry, a sell actually. Now, because why I'm going in for a sell is because look at, there's just been a bounce off from this particular resistance. Look at this resistance right here. Okay. Look at this resistance that has been built around this region. Okay, look at this resistance that has been built around this region. So if you're taking a look at this particular instrument, you discover that you are going to be seeing a fall on dollar for at least for today. All right, I'm expecting it to bounce off from this particular region where it is. So I can tell you that for dollar for today, I am looking at, I wouldn't advise you to enter any buy. I would not advise you to enter any buy, but rather I will advise you to enter sell. All right, I will actually advise you to enter sell. If you want to go for an instant sell, fine, you can go ahead. And please set your stop loss above the verified resistance, just around that point. Okay, you can take it up a little bit to avoid fake out. Okay, now over the period, you can see that there've been a consistency in terms of retracement and the trends of this particular instrument. All right, look at it. It's retraced from here, retraced from here, retraced from here, and of course, they've been doing the same thing over and over again. And currently, we're also witnessing exactly the same kind of measure. So I will advise you go into this particular instrument selling. All right, even if it pushes up a little bit more, still sell. You can actually do what we call trade stacking. But please, before you do trade stacking, make sure that you have enough money to do that, to carry you through. That what is trade stacking? It means that you can actually enter a sell from here. If it pushes up a little bit, you enter another sell. If it pushes up a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 other sells. Now, what are you going to be setting your take profit? You can set your take profit before this untested resistance. Before the untested resistance, you can actually take your trade, take profit rather. And if you want to check, of course, how many pips that would have given you, let's just take a look at that. Let's take a look at how many pips or how many what loss size I'm going to be using for it. Okay, so with that in mind, I'll just increase my risk appetite to, let's say, 3. All right, and this is my entry position. This is going to be my stop loss right here, and this is going to be my take profit right here. So I'm supposed to be making about 72,000 naira from this particular trade. So all these regions, this shaded region, should be your entry position for a sell. Remember, we said entry position for a sell. Let this point be your stop loss. All right, your stop loss can be at a price 104.435, 104.435, and then sell all through to 103.816 within the region. So it's actually a very good sell. So if you're taking up this particular trade, it means that for your trade, you're going to be seeing around 43 pips profit. If it goes in your direction, which is the sell, you're going to be getting about 43 pips profit, which is a good one. And for the stop loss, with just about 19 pips, and which is actually a very good trade setup for anybody that wants to go into this trade. And there are no fundamentals for today. There are no fundamentals affecting dollar, so I'm going to be going in for a sell on dollar index. If there were fundamentals, I probably will tell you, okay, maybe trade to this time, trade to this time, trade to this time. But for today, there are no major fundamentals affecting dollar as an instrument. Dollar as an instrument. Mind you, you might actually have fundamentals affecting other instruments against dollar, but for dollar index, it measures the exact strength of dollar, all right, in comparison with other instruments, not the other way around. All right, so we're going in for a sell on dollar index. We're taking our profits at this region, and then what this is going to be the stop loss for today. All right, and of course, it's already bouncing off from a verified resistance. Just like I said earlier, the verified resistance is also a very good measurement for our trade for today. All right, so for dollar index, I'm selling dollar index for today. Okay, so that being said, let's also look at an instrument that is having some fundamentals today, which is AUD. So I'm going to be looking at Euro AUD and of course USD, AUD USD, and of course you can also look at USD CAD, because you know that Canadian economy also is having fundamentals. So let's look at Euro AUD before we go to AUD USD. All right, so this was actually my analysis on this particular instrument as at yesterday, and it was going to be a massive sell-off on this particular instrument. All right, as at when I entered the trade yesterday, this was actually my entry position. All right, this was my entry position, but at some point, it wasn't really moving so fast and the rest. But currently, at least I'm on a very good profit, and I am still seeing this particular instrument fall. I still see it going down. It means that I'm expecting more strength from the AUD, from Australian dollar. I'm expecting Australian dollar to gain more strength. We've actually seen it, and we also discovered that some of the fundamentals that came out from this particular region of the economy has been doing great. Like yesterday, I told you that their cash rate came out positive, right? And I told you that interest rates were increased. Their interest rate was increased. And I also told you that, okay, I didn't mention this one. Their wage rate also has been increased. Wage rate has been increased also from AUD. So it means that the probability of this particular instrument gaining more strength is going to be there. The probability of the instrument gaining more strength is going to be there. Do you understand? All right. So the probability of the instrument gaining more strength is going to be there. On the Euro AUD, I'm on 30 minutes time frame. So even if we're checking it out on 1 hour time frame, you can also see the same thing. All right. Even on 1 hour time frame, there is basically no major support holding the pair. Basically, no major support. You can scroll out and maybe even shrink. You can discover that. Look at it. It's currently having a free fall. If you want to rule a line, maybe at this point to see all these regions, to see if it was a resistance currently supporting it, you can just rule a line on all these resistance levels and push it. Okay, great. See, it has broken below this particular resistance support level and is headed to this next one. So for Euro AUD for today, we are going in for a sell also. I'm going in for a sell. That is, I'm saying that AUD is going to be stronger for today. AUD is going to be stronger. Is there any news coming out from the Eurozone? No, there is no any. Okay, let's say, yeah, there is a news coming out from the Eurozone around 2 p.m. and it's a medium impact news. All right, so between this morning and tomorrow, between this morning and 2 o'clock, I will advise go in for a sell on AUD, Euro AUD, and you should be able to make some good profits. All right. I know currently that the market is selling, is buying rather, but don't be deceived by the buy. As a trader, when you see a buy like this, don't just jump into a trade thinking that, oh, okay, I've seen my buy position. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We're actually going to be, now look at what we've been having. This kind of flag formation, if you know about it, a sell, consolidation, sell, consolidation, sell, consolidation, sell, is being a consistent, what was it called, the downward flag formation. All right, you can actually see that very, very well. Do you understand? So that's exactly what we're going to be experiencing at this point. So for this instrument, please, I will advise go in for a sell on this, but please make sure that you exit your trade before 2 p.m. And of course, you know the reason why you should be exiting, right? You know there's a reason why you should be leaving the trade before 2 p.m. because there is a fundamental coming out by 2 p.m. There is a fundamental coming out by 2 p.m. So with that in mind, you can go in for a sell and go out of the trade before 2 p.m. You can actually use the next support as your take profit point. The next support can be your take profit point. But if it doesn't get here before that 2 p.m., please do well to exit the trade. All right. If it doesn't get your take profit before 2 p.m., do well to close it yourself. Close it manually. All right. Don't just say, okay, once is on this particular trade, is this particular stop take profit is going to go in fully like that. No. If it doesn't get your take profit before 2 p.m., please do well to close because there is a fundamental coming out by that time. All right. There is a fundamental coming out by that time. That is for the Eurozone. For the Eurozone, there is a fundamental coming out by 2 p.m. All right, so don't be on a trade by that time. Allow the market to actually okay, sorry. Today is Wednesday. No. Apologies. I was looking at a different date. There is no fundamental by 2 p.m. There is no fundamental by 2 p.m. Yes, I just checked again. I was actually mistaken it. There is no fundamental by 2 p.m. All right, I was looking at a different, yeah, there is no fundamental by 2 p.m. All right, so forget that. So you can sell this particular instrument. Yeah, so you can sell this particular instrument and take your profit at this level. Yeah, you can do that. All right, no fundamental by 2 p.m. So take your sell. All these regions, even if it pushes up a little bit, you can still sell. Now you'll be asking, okay, what about your stop loss? You can set your stop loss at this turn code resistance at 1.61352, 1.61352. But do you know one thing you should always do? You don't always need to wait till when the take profit point is hit, especially when you're using a bigger lot size. If you're using a big lot size, you don't need to wait till the take profit point. You can always close your trade before the take profit position. All right. So let's check the possible amount you're going to be making from this trade. Let's check the possible amount we'll be making from the trade. Okay. So with this, so just put in my stop loss to be here and my take profit all the way down to this point. And of course, here is going to be my take profit. So my profit is going to be about 159 pips, 159 pips for my take profit, and my stop loss is just about 93 pips. All right, it's just about 93 pips. So this one is 159 pips, which is giving me about 19,000 plus. Oh, sorry, yeah, 19,000. That is if I'm using 0.04, but I just want to increase my risk appetite to about 3. So I'm using 0.11. So I'm making about 54,000 naira from the trade. Yeah, I'm making about 54,000 naira from this trade. Okay, so I think that's actually a very good one. It's actually a very good one. It's actually a very good one. All right, it's a good one. So I think I'm good with this trade. So I'm going in for a sell, and I'm taking my profits around here and my stop loss right at this level. Okay, so that is that for Euro AUD. But then let's look at now USD, AUD USD. Let's look at AUD USD. AUD USD. So AUD USD, I'm also looking at it with 30 minutes time frame, but I can also first of all look at it from 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this particular instrument actually bounced off from, I'm on AUD USD. This particular instrument actually bounced off from a verified resistance. All right, it bounced off from a verified resistance just around here, but there is also a verified support just a few pips away from where the current market price is. All right, this is the verified resistance at price 0.66803, and there is a verified support just around price 0.66368, 0.66368. So this particular point, I will advise actually use breakout. Now, what I can do is that I can actually enter an instant sell and take my profit before the verified support. But if you don't want to do that, you can trade the breakout process. Now, look at it. It has actually been on an uptrend. Of course, we all know that it has been on an uptrend. AUD has actually been doing well, just like it was noted. Yesterday, it bought. And of course, today, I'm also going to be expecting more of a buy on this instrument. Don't forget, I'm expecting more of a buy. I'm not saying I will not buy, but I'm also only saying that because of the concept of support and resistance, I might be entering an instant sell, just a very, not a very long one. Not too much, it's not going to stay for too long, just within from here to this point. But if you don't want to do that, then trade breakout points. So if it goes above the resistance, you can buy, all right? And if it goes below the support, you can sell. But for now, you can just enter instant sell, take your profit just within this point. But the general trend of this particular instrument is a buy. Do you understand? The general trend of this particular instrument is a buy. The general trend is a buy. So don't be caught up on the sell version. So let's just use IPM indicator to see what we're actually expecting. Now, this is it. It has actually given us a sell signal. So I said you can enter sell and take your profits at this verified support. take your profit at this verified support. Then you can also set a buy limit from here, taking it back up. Instant sell, take your profit at this point, and then you can enter what we call a buy limit also. Take your profit at this point, then enter a buy limit. All right, enter a buy limit. Okay, here, enter here, take your profit at this point, then from here, enter a buy limit and taking it up to this, back to this point. So you can actually have a double trade just using this particular instrument. All right, so let me say that again. You can enter sell, take your profit at 0.66465, and then also set up a buy limit from 0.66465 and bring it in up to this point. So it is actually a double trading strategy. I hope you actually get what I mean by what I just said. Okay. So let me say that again. I am taking in my sell. I'm taking in my sell at the current price, and I'm taking with my take profit at 0.66465. And then after that, I can also set, immediately I'm setting that trade, I can also set up a buy limit. My buy limit is going to be at price 0.66465. And then my take profit for the buy limit will be at 0.66798. I don't know if you understood what I just said, but I think that is actually clear enough. All right. So above the resistance and below the support can be your stop loss regions. All right. Okay. So that should be, I think that should actually be a very great entry for this particular instrument, AUD USD. All right. You're just trading inside this bracket. You're trading inside this consolidation point, because I remember I said it is still going to buy. The general trend is still going to be a buy trend. All right, the general trend is still going to be a buy. So you're only taking up the advantage, well, only taking advantage of this sell just to make some profit from it. All right, just to make some profit from this particular sell. All right, so that is what we're actually doing. Not that we're sticking into a long sell. No, don't stay for a long time for the sell. Just a short sell. That's why I said make sure you're closing your sell at this point. Make sure you're closing your sell at this point. All right. So if you are asking where you're going to set your stop loss for the sell, then let it just be above this particular resistance. Above the particular resistance is your stop loss for the sell, but you can go in for the sell now. All right. So let's also look at another instrument that is going to be having a fundamental for today, which is Canadian economy. So Canadian economy are actually going to be having some fundamentals later hours of today. All right. Now look at USD CAD also is bouncing off from a verified support. Is bouncing off from a verified support. Now you probably will be asking me, how come? Now I actually love trading support and resistance. You know why? I love trading support and resistance because that is one of those strategies that even if it's going to be failing you, the rate of this particular support and resistance failing is not going to be so much. All right, it's not going to be so much. So you can actually trade on support and resistance, and you should be able to make some reasonable profit from that. And of course, most times trade actually follow that same process. All right. Of course, what is support and resistance? These are areas in the market where price actions has been acted upon. All right, where prices were unable to go either below or above those regions. So you already know that price has gotten to this point before, but it wasn't able to go above. So the probability of it still repeating the same thing is high. Do you understand? So for this particular instrument, I am actually still going in for, yeah. Hope I'm not too fast. All right. So I know I'm not too fast. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now look at this. Look at this. You could literally notice that price has actually been consolidating between here and here. Okay, price has been consolidating between these two regions. Let me from here. Okay, so there's been a massive price consolidation within this region. All right, there's been a massive price consolidation within this region. So it means that if you're a long-term trader, what you're looking at for it is for the market to bounce off from any of these points. Look at it, sold and went up, came down, went up, came down. So there've been this kind of consolidation. So where do you think this particular one is headed to? Where do you think it's headed to? All right. So I know a lot of you would be expecting this also. Okay. So how many of you are expecting this? If you're expecting this, just tell me. If you're expecting this, this line I drew here, just tell me that you're expecting the line also. Okay. So if you're expecting this line, tell me. And this is USD CAD. And remember that we have fundamental from CAD by what time? We have it by 3 p.m. By 3 p.m. Okay, so it will go down. Somebody said it will go down. Then the other one, yeah, okay, I expect that. So it's only one person that okay. Somebody also said I should do well to mention the instrument I'm trading on from time to time. Before I even start any analysis on any instrument, I always mention the name. I said USD CAD, and it's written just at the base of my chart. USD CAD. I mentioned that now, but I'll still say that again. USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD. Don't mind me. Okay, great. A lot of people are actually supporting the line I drew, and yes, I actually support that line too. Now look at this particular thing. You could literally really see that this particular market is still pushing back up to this region. It's still pushing back up to this particular region, going back to the verified resistance. It might not get to the verified resistance. It might not get there, but of course, we're actually going to be expecting more of a buy. All right. Now look at this particular price rejection here, this hammer that formed here. And of course, we're seeing this also. So you can just put in your trend line, just like I did on mine around here, and then follow this particular trade all the way up. But please don't wait till that verified resistance to take your profit. You can just take your profit somewhere around here. You can take your profit at 1.34426. 1.34426. But I actually zoomed out to say this. If this particular trade can comfortably break above this particular consolidation structure, please go in for either the buy or sell. Now look at this. If it can go above the buy, know that it has broken this structure here. It has broken this structure here. And if it goes below the verified support, it has also broken the structure here and is going down. It means that the trend has been confirmed. For now, it has been having a consolidation pattern for how many days now? 1, 2, 3, and today is the 4th day that the market has been consolidating. So once it's able to break above any of the structures, please enter that particular trade. If it's a buy, enter the buy. And if it is a sell, do well to enter the sell. All right. If it is a buy, enter if it breaks above the resistance, enter a buy. And if it goes below the support, please enter a sell. All right. Okay, so that is actually a very good distance. But then for this morning, we are doing what? We're going in for a buy. Yeah, we're going in for a buy for this morning. We're going in for a buy for this morning. For this morning, for USD CAD, we are buying. Yeah, we're buying USD CAD. And of course, you know where to set your stop loss, right? Just below the verified support is your stop loss. Now, you should be able to learn how to actually comfortably identify your stop loss regions. All right. And I said you can buy from here, take it all the way to this point, and then stop loss just below the verified support should be your stop loss. All right, should be your stop loss. And then because we're looking at USD CAD, let's also use the opportunity to just take a look at oil briefly. Let's take a look at oil briefly and see what oil has actually been doing and what is actually going to be doing for this period. And oil, just like expected, remember that what was it called? This particular instrument is actually more of a petrochemical economy also, remember? All right, remember. So that same way, and we're saying that dollar is actually going to be a little bit stronger than AUD this morning. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be using that to also look at what oil is doing. But I'll be looking at oil for 15 minutes. All right, I'll look at it for 15 minutes and then we'll go back to our 1 hour time frame and then take our positions again. But for now, look at, I want to rule a line using 15 minutes time frame. All right, I'll rule a line using the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, so now this is oil on 15 minutes time frame. This is how it is looking. Okay, so this is a proven resistance right here, and this is a verified support right here. So let's go to 1 hour time frame and see what we've got also. Okay, great. The same thing on 1 hour time frame. Here is a weak resistance. Sorry, yeah, a weak resistance. So the proven resistance on 15 minutes time frame is actually a weak resistance. Okay, it's also actually a weak resistance on 1 hour time frame. It means that there's actually a resistance right there. There's a resistance right there. So for oil today, we are going in for a further sell. We are going in for a further sell, and we're going to be closing our sell. It's not going to be a very long one, because over time you can actually say that oil has also been doing a little bit of consolidating. But because oil is not doing so well, now look at the same thing that's happening on the Canadian economy. They've been having some consolidation points. The same oil has also been doing that, but of course, it's not going to be exactly the same thing as the Canadian economy. So we're taking our sell on oil, and then we're taking our profit at 74.991 or 90. So 74.90 is going to be our take profit point. Okay, it's going to be our take profit point. 74.90 is our take profit point. So I am going in for a sell on oil. Remember that there is a fundamental coming out from Canadian economy. Now let me say this. Let me say this. Canadian economy does not measure oil. Canadian economy does not determine the strength of oil, but oil determines the strength of the Canadian economy. Do you understand? Okay. Canadian economy does not determine the strength of oil, and of course, but oil determines the strength of the Canadian economy. All right. So please take note of that, so that when a fundamental is coming out from Canadian economy, you will not be expecting a volatility in oil. In fact, you can even see a volatility in oil maybe when US dollars is having some moves, even more than Canadian economy does. All right. And today also there is oil inventory coming out by I think 3 p.m. All right. Sorry, 2:30 p.m. Sorry, 3:30. Pardon me. 3:30 p.m. Oil inventory. You know that oil inventory is a weekly report. Oil inventory is a weekly news report. Is a low impact news. So if you're looking at it from high impact news or medium impact news, please don't you will not see it there. It's on low impact news. But even at that, even if it's a low impact news, it actually has some massive move in the market. So please take note of that. There is a oil inventory coming up by 3:30 p.m. today, and is a low impact news, but we expect it to also have some effect, because oil inventory actually measures how many barrels of oil are in the inventory. So the higher the value of the inventory, the lesser the profit, the lesser the price, and the smaller the level of inventory, the higher the price. So be on the lookout for that. Hope you get that. If the inventory record is high, then oil price will fall. If the inventory record is low, then oil price will go up. All right, so that is that about oil. So I am going in for a sell on oil, and then I'm taking my profits just at this point. But I want to just check something. All right, there was actually a gap up on oil today, though it has actually been covered. It's just a very tiny gap up. All right, but it's been covered. So we're actually going in for a further sell on oil up until 74.90. 74.90 is the point to stop. All right, so let's actually take a look at gold. And by the way, I am not taking gold because you said I should take gold. I'm taking gold because I have actually planned to analyze gold. All right, so let's see. Okay. You know that we've actually been saying that dollar index is going to gain strength, dollar index that, dollar index this. All right. And we actually looked at dollar index. Some people have actually been asking me, what did I say about dollar index? I said, we are selling dollar index today. We are selling dollar index. And if you had actually entered the trade, you should have been on profit. We are selling dollar index. I've said that severally. And if we're selling if we're selling dollar index, what do we do to gold? What do we do to gold if we're selling dollar index? Who understands the concept of dollar index and gold? Who understands the concept of dollar index and gold? Buy. Okay, buy. Great, great, great. Now, there was something that happened on gold. I think it was on Tuesday, or sorry, Monday. All right. Early, I think it wasn't even early hours of the day. It was during the market session. Do you notice that there was a gap on gold while we're looking at it? In fact, Koro, there was a massive gap. There was a fundamental that came out actually on that Monday that brought about this gap on gold. All right, good enough. Well, actually, I thank God because I was actually on the trade, so I saw this particular price rejection within this level, so I decided to enter buy. All right, I decided to enter buy, but I didn't want to stay long for the buy. I just wanted to maybe just take some profit and then close. But before we know it, there was this massive gap, and it's on 1 hour time frame. So the gap happened, and man, it was something. All right, but then today, because we're already saying that dollar index is going to gain more strength, is going to sell. So that also in mind, I'm going to be buying gold. Yes, I know gold is currently selling. Yes, I know. All right. I know that gold is selling, but I'm going to be going in for a buy on gold. I'm going to be going in for a buy on gold for today. Yes, I'll be going in for a buy on gold. Now, if you want to put up a stop loss on it, I will not be giving you take profit for the gold. You can decide at what level you should be stopping your trade. But for the stop loss, you can put up a stop loss at 1950.45. 1950.45. All right. All right. 1950.45 is where I'm going to be putting in my take profit for gold. That is where I'm going to be taking in my take profit for gold. That's where I'll be putting in my stop loss rather. All right. So my stop loss for gold is going to be at 1950.45, but I'm going in for a buy on gold. So you can decide to take your profits before the verified resistance just at this point. Okay. Why I put in here and maybe not lower is because if you can break below this particular point, it might most likely still go down. But for today, I'm going in for a buy, and here is going to be my stop loss, and all the way up here, I'll be taking my profit. Okay, so let's also look at a very interesting instrument I've gotten to love within the period. That is UK 100. I know quite a number of you don't really trade on this instrument, but if you don't trade on UK 100, you are missing a lot. Some of you like DE30, but you've not gotten to know that there is actually an instrument also that behaves exactly like DE30. Yes, an instrument that behaves exactly like DE30, both in terms of profitability, if it's not more profitable, and in terms of moves. And good enough, it also, the same kind of fundamental that affects DE30 also affects UK 100. UK 100 is one of those instruments that you should always consider trading every now and then. Because, man, yesterday was nice for me for UK 100, and I can tell you, you can always try that out. Just imagine me entering a buy limit from this point yesterday and then taking it all the way up to this point, and it was all juicy kind of trade. And today we're going to be going in for a sell on UK 100. So we're going to be trading it now. Why I'm mostly looking at technical aspect of all these trades is because there is basically no high impact news for today. There is no high impact news for today. So that's why I'm going in all technical. All right. So I'm just going to be using this particular indicator to check my entry position. Now, this was actually a confirmation for my sell, and this is a verified resistance, and my moving average is already above my price. And of course, I'm going to be taking my sell, like I said. So for UK 100, we're taking up a sell from the current market price. Even if it pushes up a little bit, yes, you can still take up a sell. So all these points are my sell regions. So even if price, for the fact that price is within this box, I am still selling. So where is my stop, my take profit? My take profit is going to be around here. So it's actually going to be a very massive one. So we're selling all the way down. We're selling all the way down. Okay. Now, all these points should be your sell positions. All these points should be your sell position. And where should be your stop loss? Your stop loss can actually be above this point. But if you don't want to use up to that point because it might actually be a little bit long, just use here as your stop loss. All right, because if you can go above here, then it's all gone. But within here, you can still sell. Now, this particular kind of formation you're seeing here, the market might likely just push up a little bit more. It can push up a little bit more, yes, but that shouldn't stop your sell. But then if you want to scalp, go on 5 minutes time frame. All right, for those people that want to scalp, go on 5 minutes time frame, and you should be able to take advantage of this particular buy that is even going on here. All right, if you want to scalp, go on 5 minutes time frame and enter instant buy and take your profit within this box also, just maybe somewhere around here. All right, you can take your profit just around there. That is for a buy. All right, now let me say that again. If you want to scalp, go on smaller time frame, enter an instant buy, take your profit just at 7637.7. Okay, at this point, you should be able to make your profit. That is if you want to scalp. But if you want to actually follow me for the trade I'm talking about for this trade, now you can actually start selling within this point. You can sell all the way in here. All right, I believe that should make more sense. So you can sell from where the price is, but if you're a scalper, go for a smaller time frame, enter buy, and then take your profit around here. You should be able to make your profit also. So that would help you out. So like I said, if you're a scalper, enter buy. All right, enter buy. Don't stay long. Of course, just scalp buy for the period and make sure that you stop your buy at 7637.7. But if you're not a scalper and you want to just enter trade, please enter sell. Enter sell. You can actually stack up your sell. All right, enter multiple sell positions and then take your profit within here. But if you don't have enough money to enter multiple positions, then don't enter multiple positions. Okay, just take up maybe a single sell and then take your profit here. And I said your stop loss should be at 7676.4. 7676.4 should be your stop loss. 7676.4 should be your stop loss for UK 100. So for UK 100, what are we doing? We are selling UK 100 today. We're selling UK 100 today. Why I said for scalpers, you can go in for a buy because most likely you're going to be making this market most likely will still be pushing a little bit up. All right, so you can use scalping to take advantage of that buy. But if not, please, everybody, you can go in for a sell. And if it pushes up, enter sell, goes up a little bit more, still consider more of a sell. So for today, we're selling UK 100. And if you're selling UK 100, what do we do to DE30? Yes, what do we do to DE30? If you actually heard me well, I said that this particular instrument, they behave exactly the same way. They behave exactly the same way. Not perfectly the same, of course. Okay, somebody actually answered the question, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So for DE30, I'm all the way to the verified support. Yes, I am selling all the way to the verified support for the DE30. For stacking, before you can stack your trade, make sure you have nothing less than ₦1 million to stack up your trade. Now, stacking up your trade means that you're actually going to be entering. Okay, you enter sell, and if it goes up a little bit, enter another one, and then set up your take profit at the same level. All right, so that as it's coming down, you can actually make some really good profit. I think I really wish I could show you where I did a stacking strategy within the period and see some of my trades that I did stacking. You could see literally it was about 10 positions. All right, so it was about 10 positions, and out of that 10, I was just making about 1,700 or thereabout, between 1,005 to 1,007 for each of those trades. Just imagine when I have 10 positions where I'm making about 1,000 this thing. And yeah, so in that particular one, but there are, if you now want to have, okay, just imagine you're making about 20,000 naira from each of those trades. And the reason why I actually made 1,000 naira, 1,005 or 1,007 was because I used just 0.01. 0.01 gave me that amount. So just imagine if I had used 0.1, all right, or 0.2, or even one standard lot for that same trade, I probably would have been making, if I had used 0.1, I think I should have been making about 10,000 naira from each of them. All right. If I had used one standard lot, should have known how much I would have been making also from each of those trades. So it can actually work. It's a very effective way of also making some really good amount of money. But please don't do it if you don't have enough money. So for DE30, the same as UK 100, we're going to be going for the same direction. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going in for a sell also, but just please exit your sell at this untested support, because D30 has actually gone further than UK 100. All right, D30 has gone further than UK 100. And okay, let me stop there. Let me stop there. But if you look at my chart very well, I think you should be able to learn more on this chart than any other chart. You should be able to learn more just by flipping these two trades. You should be able to know exactly what I wanted to say. Okay, let's just take a little bit of agro commodity. If you enter sell on D30, I think you should have already been on profit, because D30 can be like that. And just imagine you're now starting your trade on a good lot size, and you're using maybe, let's say, 0.1, and you're making about 10,000 naira from each of the trades. And you have maybe, like, let's say five position. Within 5 minutes, you would have made up to 50K just within some few minutes. Okay, so let's take a little bit of look at agro commodities. So for those of you that have actually been following the afternoon what's it called, signal or hints on agro commodities, you will discover that, okay, I actually said that I was selling my agro commodities as at yesterday, especially on wheat. Okay, so, and that actually gave me some really good profit, even if on corn, as at the time. So this was actually the candle that gave me the sell. So it was a good sell also for me. And also for wheat, we also sold yesterday. So this was actually the same candle also. So for today, also on agro commodities, looking at wheat, now, if you notice very well, we've been saying that there is this is the trading session for agro commodities, right? We say that it is a season of agro commodity, and because of that, the prices of this particular instrument should be reducing. But if you also notice that inflation is also high up there, all right, inflation is still high up there. But this, I also see that, okay, it is still not going to actually do what's called go into a very long buy. So if you're going to be buying, make sure that you're not a long-term trader. You're just someone that just wants to do an intraday trading. All right. So with that in mind, if we're going to be doing an intraday trading, you can go in for a buy on wheat and then take your profit within here. You know, there was a gap that yesterday's gap here. So I'm actually entering a buy on wheat, and I'm taking my profit just at the tip of this point, which is at 635.79. That is where I'm going to be stopping my buy. So for today, we're going in for a buy on wheat this morning, and we're taking our profit here. So I'm not going to be talking about corn because there is not any specific direction for now on corn. It's already on a verified resistance. So just allow it to get to verified resistance. I cannot tell you to enter buy, or sorry, sell from here, because if this particular trade can move from here to this point and maybe use 0.02 and you don't have enough money, you probably would be on hot soup. So I still feel that, okay, my ADX currently is giving me more of a buy on corn. All right. So for now, I will tell you, don't enter any trade on corn yet. But for wheat, you can go ahead and enter a buy on wheat. Take your profit at 635.79 for those that trade on agro commodities. Yeah, you can take up a buy, take your profits at this point. That should actually make you some good profit. So for soya bean and corn, don't enter any trade yet. Why? Because the resistance is already very close. The resistance is already very close. But if you want to scalp it, fine, you can go ahead. But I will not advise you to take up any one on soya bean and on corn. But for today, you can go ahead and enter a buy on, if you actually entered buy, as at the time I said, you can go ahead and enter buy. You should have been on profit on this, but we're still going to be pushing up. So you still have your time to do that. So we're going to be buying more of agro commodities and take your profit within this point. But you don't, like I always say, you don't need to wait till you take profit point. You can always close your trade before your take profit, especially when you're using a big lot size. All right, I think we've actually said a lot. We've said a lot today. Look at here something. Okay, so we've actually done two indices, and All right. So let's just, before I call it a day, let me just take a look at US 2000 for those that trade on US 2000. All right. So from where US 2000 is, I'm actually going to be going in for a sell. Yes, I'm going to be going in for a sell on US 2000, but I'm not going to be staying long for that particular sell. So on US 2000, I'm going to be going in for a sell. All right. Maybe hopefully by tomorrow, I would have actually loved us to take a very great look at US 100, but we're already I can't start talking about everything I want to talk about in US 100 because there are a lot of things to say that will give you the fundamentals. But for US 2000, I'm going to be going in for a sell. But let me just do this for the doing sake. Like I said, I'm going in for a sell for US 2000. I'm going in for a sell for US 2000. But let me just do one last thing based on just your request, and that is going to be taking a look at USD JPY. And I know maybe the reason why you're asking about USD JPY, only God knows. Okay, great. USD JPY, of course, you know that the best thing you should do for yourself for USD JPY, I've always been saying it in most of my trainings, and I'm taking on USD JPY. I will always tell you, look for a comfortable position to buy USD JPY. I always say that. Look for a good position to do what? To buy USD JPY. That is not for anything. You always look for a comfortable position and buy what? USD JPY. And that being said, I am buying USD JPY and I'm taking my profits at that untested resistance. And if I want to put my stop loss is just going to be below this particular support here. So I am buying USD JPY. And please always look for a comfortable position. It is better you get trapped on buy for USD JPY than being trapped on a sell on USD JPY. So for USD JPY today, I am buying the instrument. I'm buying the instrument. Okay, so that would bring us to the end of today's meeting. So let me just see if I can take maybe one or two questions. Okay, there are no. Wow, this person I've just been typing USD JPY. No be quarrel now. I just did it. I'm just saying this USD. You've actually been typing it. Oh wow. Now you've got your USD JPY. So we're buying USD JPY today. We're buying USD JPY today. Congratulations for getting your request met. All right. We're buying USD JPY today, and take your profit at or before the untested resistance, and maybe your stop loss at that untested support. Okay, so that would bring us to the end of today's meeting. Thank you very much for joining. And by the way, our 2:30 trade, our 2 p.m. Live trading session is back. All right, so I'm going to be expecting you for 2 p.m. today. We're going to be using the same link, this particular link. So by 2 p.m., join us for live trading session. So it is back. So I'm going to be expecting every one of you to join me by 2 p.m. and of course, we're going to be looking at some of your favorite instruments. Yes, I'm not going to be mentioning, but of course, you know your favorite instruments. We're going to be looking at them. We're going to be looking at gold. Yeah, 2 p.m. today is a date. So please, 2 p.m. today, we're back with our live trading session. All right, we're going to be looking at some of your favorite instruments. And all right, so let's I want to see every one of you there. Thank you very much. And please do well to join our Telegram group. And of course, you can always watch the broadcast of this analysis actually, by on our YouTube page. Okay, so thank you very much. See you by 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Please, 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. All right. 2 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. See you by 2 p.m. Have a great day.